Hey, welcome back, Red Shoes Diary. Back up here on the ridge. Looking around a little bit. Beautiful evening. Been good, cool. Well, after all the heat we had, last few days been pretty nice around here. Hardly no humidity. Been doing a few chores, so that's been good. Wandering around. And thankful for another good week. Hope you're feeling fat and sassy and all bubbly. Hopefully you feeling better than you was last week. If you had a little sickness, whatever it is going on, I hope it does better for you. And been a good week. I've been blessed a lot of answered prayers. Thankful for friends and family and things that went well for them. Very much thankful for it. And I went to eat the other day with the family last Sunday after church, and I had to laugh. We went, ate, and it was my granddaughter, my daughter, and we just get done eating. She leans over, she says, "Papa." I said, "Yeah, we gonna get ice cream." I said, "We are?" "Yeah, we gonna go get ice cream." Well, that's right up Papa's heart right there. We have to go to that Dairy Queen. So we usually go through the drive-through, then we'll pull out there and park in the parking lot. That way she'll climb up, seat between us, and sit and talk and jabber or whatever, and work on my milkshake and whatever her mama's got, and then her ice cream. Share alike, I guess. But had a laugh. There's a Jeep come through, young guy and girl. He went around through the drive-through, so this young girl pulled up in front of us right near the front door. She gets out. And of course, she's got that phone. She did going through the door. Well, in a little bit, she comes out, and she's still talking. She's got the ice creams or whatever she's went to get. Well, she gets in her car, and about that time, she's about ready to back out. She starts backing out. Well, apparently that boy in the Jeep has got his stuff. Well, he comes more or less, not flying, but he's definitely going a little faster than he should. He comes around that corner. Well, she's starting to back up. Now, he couldn't stop the Jeep long enough for her to back out. And I'm not even sure she's seen him, to be honest, because she's on the phone or whatever. So, of course, he's like, man, waving at her and all this. He goes by or whatever, and I don't think she really stopped. She just kept on backing up. She's still talking, and she drove off. And I'm like, well, that goes to prove what's wrong with people nowadays. They're so busy on the head, they don't know what else is going on around them. That granddaughter just goes, "Yep." Just I couldn't help but laugh that she agreed with Papa. Of course, she ain't sure what that all meant, but she's agreeing with Papa. And we talked about down at church the other day, and people talk about putting people down. How it is, and people gossiping, doing this, doing that, and got to talking, and I was like, well, the sad part of it is, especially in this old world, we're bad to put people on pedestals. We have this yardstick, and especially preachers. We expect them to be perfect, and they're human. They're not perfect in any shape, form, or fashion. And I'm like, there's plenty of times people put that yardstick right up there, and that's what they measure. Now, they don't measure themselves, but they'll measure other people. And I said, sad thing it is, I said, they get to thinking also, well, they probably know maybe what they're doing is wrong, but they can look over here at who's sitting over side and go, I know them from way back. I know what all they've been into. I've seen what they've done the last little bit. I'm a much better person they are, and they pat themselves on the back. And I said, that ain't the way it's supposed to be. There's a passage in the Bible that speaks about, the beam in your eye, remove it before you take the splinter of your brother's eye. And sometimes us being human, we look at people, and like I said, a lot of times, especially preachers and stuff, people put them up on pedestals, and they'll take and they won't knock them off that pedestal. They want people to see that they're not perfect. They won't, it's easier when a person's standing on a pedestal and it's wobbly anyway, because you're standing up there trying to do the best you can. You're human, you fail, you fall down, You get back up and you try again. And, a lot of people have no problem reach over and kicking that pedestal to knock you down. Sad part is that ain't our job. We supposed to help one another, supposed to lift each other up. You look at how people, it's satisfying sometimes when you think somebody's been knocked down. They just, and it's a sad part. It shouldn't be that way. It's easier to reach over and kick that pedestal, keep kicking it, nudge it a little bit of time. But why not pick up a block and sit over there and put beside the pedestal somewhere they can stand on? Or maybe take a piece of paper, stick it on one side like you do if you had a restaurant and the table's wobbling, you take something and stick it on the side of it so it'll sit still, and steady it. Why don't we do that? How come we're so busy measuring ourselves against each other, When that time comes, you take that last breath, good Lord ain't going to measure you by what the preacher says or what your mama and daddy, he's looking at you. What have you done? Don't matter what everybody else around you's done. So, it just sometimes amazes me how we get caught up in that type of thing. And, you got the Good Samaritan. There he wasn't nothing to the man. And the people that should have lifted that man up and helped him across the street, they went around him. Wouldn't have nothing to do with him. But somebody else picked him up, got him some help, got him a place to stay, paid for it all, helped him out. And that was somebody you didn't even know. Why is it, why is it the people we know we can't do that for? How come we're not helping them, lifting them up? We always talk about lifting up, singing, and lifting up God's name and all. Why don't you lift up God's people? You ain't think God's people. Sometimes that's a hard thing. Maybe they're just, one of the girls I watch sometimes, a newbie Christian trying. You can be a helper to that person and lift them up and tell them to be there, whatever. You can be against them. That's your choice. Your choice is how you act. And blaming it on everybody else, I'm sorry, that don't work. You can do it. You can never accept responsibility for what you do. But sooner or later, it will come back to haunt you. It will come back to bite you, So anyway, that's just on my mind. I hope that wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, that maybe it'll touch you. Maybe you'll take time to think about it. Maybe look in the mirror. That's the other part we talk about. Sometimes it's sort of scary. You look in the mirror and look at that yardstick you got there. And, I hope that wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, that, you're lifting up other folks. Truly, truly, I do. I truly hope you're lifting up other folks. Plain simple, folks. Anyway, and lift up your own self. Because the devil's going to wear you down. He ain't going to let you be happy either way. So you got to get away from him and get on your own self so you're going to be okay. But have a great week. I hope that wherever you go, whatever you do, I hope it's incredible. Hope you have answered prayers. I hope that you're safe and sound and you get a little time. Take time, make time to be with the good Lord. You can find him wherever. Car out here on the ridge. Living room, bedroom. And then make a little time for other people. Go to church, find you a church, find you someplace to go that you're welcome at, you feel welcome. Maybe a group, maybe a Sunday school class, something other. Maybe it's a meeting, you find out if it's a women's group that meets maybe once a week or something, or a men's group that meets once a week, to help each other. It doesn't matter. Maybe you can't get out of your house. Maybe you're caught up in it. Maybe in the internet somewhere, and you can find some place like that. One of the deals, Facebook, and a bunch of the other ones, whatever, it doesn't matter. That into the Lord, people talk to you, help you. Anyway, that's my saying for the week. I guess I've rambled long enough. Hope wherever you at, whatever's going on, you are in a good place. As always, don't let the good Lord. I hope the good Lord takes a liking to you. Sorry about messing that up, huh? See, told you I messed up. Hopefully, the good Lord take a liking to you, but not too soon. And I hope if He does take a liking to you, you've done made that preparations and you know where you're going. And as always, Austin.